Found a chironomid larva. Off to a good start. Do you wager we humans are just fauna inside some mega beast from your research? Could be. Could be. You never know. Hey, Kevin's Tech. This is a... I did find a chironomid larva early. I just moved past it thinking I could get back to it. And got a bit of a nematode worm there. I think I saw some rotifers moving around as well. So we do have some things in here. They're just, as usual for the lichen sample, it's a bit of a hunt. And I'm pretty sure I saw a water bear early on. I just sort of skimmed over it. So hopefully it'll be there when I get back to that area of the slide. This is that's a ciliate right there that's moving around. It's extra fast. Kind of challenging to keep in a field of view. And this is a sample from a stick out in my yard, as usual, when I'm looking for water bears and other lichen samples. Although normally when I start, my samples are totally dry. This one started off a little damp already because it's raining here. And so a lot of the organisms are already active. And that's why there's so many ciliates moving around, I think. Because they got a head start. It's a little nematode. It's another little ciliate that's cruising around. Looks like a rotifer or piece of one. Oh, there's a water bear. We're off to a good start. Let's see. Let's see if I can fix that image quality just a little. It's just a little over brightened. There we go. Sometimes hard to see when it's that bright. Also, I think I can take out this thing and it will help. Don't need the polarizer in. See, it's got its legs churning. That there is a water bear. Oops. Let's see. What can I do? I can put this guy up. I think I can fix my scale. We are... Actually, that's the right scale. So this thing is roughly 1/4 of a millimeter. And... let's see. We can bring out Tardy B if we want. There we go. She's always excited to meet a water bear. And we can add this little water bear to our list of water bears seen. It's kind of stuck on its back. It's not doing a very good job of flipping itself over or anything. Let's see. We can... monkey around with the light settings a little bit. We're currently in dark field, which is why the background looks black. And the resolution's a little bit lower than normal as a result. We could switch over and take a look at it in DIC light. Watch your eyes a little. There we go. I need to fix this. And let's see. Do a bit of adjustment to the optics here. We don't need it to be so dark. There we go. Well, we can see that this water bear has the little ring around its snoot. See those little tiny spines? Just right around its little mouth. So it's got its little newt. We get it to wiggle just a little bit. We did. How's it going, Mama Bon Bon? Back off of our super magnification for a little bit here. That sort of rainbow halo you're seeing, that effect is because the water droplet has something high that's right next to it that's causing a lot of light diffraction. Trying hard to stay awake? Well, you could take a little nap if you want to get a nap in before Pacific Plankton stream. Now would be a good time. Got about an hour to go. Let's see what I can do here. We'll put Cardi B away. Let's go for a tour. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. here as well, Kevin's. I usually stay up through Pacific Plankton's stream, though, because I'm her moderator, and so is actually Mama Bonbon. Why don't we go for a tour and see what else we can find? We'll come back to this little water bear if we need to. I know where he is, roughly. I'm gonna go this way. Not sure what that is. There's our little water bear. Here's the thing he's next to that's actually causing all the light diffraction. It's a piece of lichen, a big chunk of it. Here's a little rotifer that's not moving.
Good news, everyone!
Oh, thank you for the follow, Pokepop. I appreciate that. My bot appreciates it too, as you can see. Couple of nematodes. I think maybe that's a tested amoeba. Right there. It's not moving very much though. So it's kind of chilling. But that there looks like maybe it's a pseudopod. Actually, these look like they might be as well, coming out. Maybe it's inactive. We'll keep rolling. It's a little ciliate. Yeah, that little ciliate there is a colpoda, a sort of kidney bean shaped ciliate, and that's a rotifer. It does not look like it's living though. Could be sleeping. Some trichomes. Very large nematode. Another large nematode. Let's see. I should probably back off of this so you could see what I'm seeing. I see that my cat has also let itself into my office. Oh. There's a little water bear. And it's right next to a rotifer. It's a little tiny guy. Let's zoom in and take a look. There you go. It's decided to crawl into the... Yeah, little tiny baby bear. We can give that a newt. Newt. It's our second water bear for the evening. There he is. So it's doing a little bit more crawling. The other one was kind of stuck on its back. And some sort of big old rotifer maybe crawling in there, trying to insert itself into our stream. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, that is the carcass of a mite right there. Maybe not easy for you to see, but its legs are very clear right there. That right there, that's a leg and a leg. There's its body. That's its abdomen. Let's see what else we can find. Nematode? Oh, this is like a giant piece of lichen mass that I had to cross over there. Uh-oh. What did we find? A rotifer. Yeah, and a nematode. They're both hanging out here. It's a little deltoid rotifer. It's like right on the edge of the bubble effect. Where can they be found in nature? Well, I found these ones on sticks in my yard. In my experience, they tend to accumulate on areas where there's lichen. Both water bears and rotifers and nematodes tend to like those sorts of environments a little bit more. I've heard people say they can be found anywhere, but I don't actually buy that because I look in a lot of places and I don't always see them. So they may be in those environments, but they're probably pretty sparse. It's a pretty big difference between present and easy to find, I guess. That is a little rotifer, I think. It's kind of crawling around over here. Stuck on the edge. Nematode. Let's see. Another nematode. And there's a rotifer crawling around in there as well, and the meniscus on that bubble. On the little droplet of the lichen right there. Some more nematodes. That's a tiny rotifer. Slide's starting to dry out already a little. I think that's a ciliate. Here's a rotifer. Sort of crawling its way through that meniscus as well. It's like they like to sit right there where it makes it hard for me to focus on them. Probably because that's where the water is sort of thicker. Yeah, no problem. Webclex. All you need to do is try to find some really old bits of tree. My normal recommendation is that you wait for a branch to fall off a tree. It's so old, basically, and then it'll be covered with a lot of lichen and probably will be colonized by a bunch of things as a result. That's been my experience. The easiest way to find them is actually sticks. Old sticks from old trees. I found them on the roof of my house. Sometimes those work really well. Hey, there's another water bear. That's a different one than the one we've been seeing. We're working our way from one side of the slide to the other. So there's our third water bear. Hey, Esarella, how you doing? We got the water bears going today. We got a little newt action. If you don't know who Esarella is, she does digital art drawing on Twitch. Really cool digital art and super friendly. And she's part of the Artist Back Alley community, which I hang out with on occasion. That little water bear is climbing into a hole. You're lurking before you go to bed. Do you want me to pick some music that's a little less upbeat for you? Let's see if I can find... Yeah, no problem. I can switch the music if you want something more relaxing. This little digital synth sound is kind of trying to be a bit exciting. There's another rotifer. If I can lull you to sleep, then I feel like I'm right at home. That's what I do to my students in my class. You know, just a little less direct. Just to use my hypnotic sounding voice. Put something wiggly on the screen and pow. Let's see. Hey, Pragmatic, how you doing? Oh, you can't hear it? Okay. I guess I have the volume down kind of a lot. Let's see, if I turn that up, can you hear it a little bit better? The other day, I was able to catch a little bit of your photography stream, and it was so cool. Do you do those often? I couldn't watch for long, and I'd love to catch it again if possible. Yes. Well, I've been doing them more recently. I was working on trying to find a nice solution that would allow me to stream through my camera and yet still not be awkward while I try to focus on things. And it's not perfect, but I am able to pretty easily manage it. It's a little challenging because I kind of have to run my camera and I think that's a water bear, but I'm not positive. To kind of run my camera and chat at the same time, and I kind of like, it's a lot of bouncing between things, and the birds are sometimes way off on one side of my yard. But I was saying I'm planning on doing some photography streams that aren't just birds. The birds are just the easiest thing because right now they're migrating and my house is in the migration pathway of the warblers. So we've seen all kinds of really great and somewhat rare warblers in my yard. Cape Mays and palm warblers and bay-breasted warblers, chestnut warblers, just everything. And warblers are some of my favorite birds. So, and normally you have to go like out into the woods to find them, but they are just coming to my yard because I have really big oak trees over my house. And I think they're eating stuff from the oak trees, the little insects. I see them up there hopping around all day long. And today, I also saw a indigo bunting, which is a very pretty bluebird, and we saw one of those on my stream yesterday, I think, or the day before, whenever I last streamed, just briefly, and I managed to get some photos of it then too, and I just posted those on Instagram tonight. So if you haven't seen one of those up close, I got some really nice images of indigo buntings, which are like a bright blue bird, sort of a finch-like bird. And I was pretty excited about that because it's now eating off of the feeder in my backyard, which means that it sticks around a little bit. And maybe I'll get some more pictures. I didn't get any today because it was very dark. It's raining and sort of miserable out. But the birds are still eating and they're still flying around in my yard. So I could see them. Light was too low for me to even consider trying to stream. It's a little rotifer. So, I mean, it probably could... Hi, paleontologizing. How are you doing? You brought in a massive mob of people here. Thank you for doing that. This is a huge crowd.
Good news, everyone.
I was just talking a little bit about, I've been doing some streams, some photography streams, imaging birds in my backyard.
Everyone.
And I've had a bunch of really great birds flying through. Yeah, and it's
Good news, everyone.
pretty cool. Thank you guys for all those follows, and of course, thank you Paleontologizing for the raid.
Good news, everyone.
If you don't know who Paleontologizing is and you aren't one of the people who came in with the raid, that's Paleontologizing right there. And today was his 1 year stream anniversary. So congratulations. I know I told you that on your stream, but
Good news, everyone.
you know, it's nice to see you being so successful. It's really great. And
Good news, everyone.
you like my raid notification? The one that plays the Minecraft raid sound? My daughter picked that one out for us.
Good news, everyone.
I don't know if I can keep up with all the action here. Doing great. You had a lovely stream. You got to run. That's cool. I know you were all dressed up in like a fancy suit tonight, so you probably want to get the monkey suit off as soon as possible. Totally understandable.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah, that's a clip from Futurama up there that you keep hearing with the good news. I was thinking about changing it. I don't know. It's
Good news, everyone.
kind of a nice one, but I think also I noticed Professor Melko uses the same sort of call. Who's that swimming around? We've been looking for water bears, but the thing that's swimming around is a ciliate called colpata. They mostly consume, they sort of help decay
Good news,
things.
everyone.
And we've seen 3 water bears tonight so far, so it's been somewhat successful. That is a rotifer all balled up.
Good news, everyone.
Everything's kind of starting to dry out a little bit, but we're doing a little live microscopy. Oh, that's a
Good
rotifer
news, everyone.
right there, crawling around. And there's another ciliate up at the top of the screen. Hang on a second, I'll see if I can get one of these in good focus for us.
Good news, everyone.
There goes a little rotifer. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go in. So we'll zoom into that little area right there, and then I will
Good news, everyone.
try to get that guy in focus for us. I think he's moved under the lichen. I think he moved right as I went to go get him. Let's see. They're pretty fast, so yeah, there he is. It's a she, actually. I know that because it's
Good
a
news,
Deloid
everyone.
rotifer. They only have females. They're unisexual species. Not just species, but the whole family of
Good news, everyone.
Deloid rotifers are. That's a colpata again. Whole family of asexual organisms. They reproduce completely asexually, and they only have
Good news, everyone.
only have females. So let's see if we can find. We've had some pretty good luck rolling around in the sample,
Good news, everyone.
looking for mostly for water bears. That's a different kind of ciliate right there. See, it's sort of snorkeling around. Didn't they find old water bears and sponges in the Louvre's basement? I never heard that. That sounds pretty cool. You want to see the water bears? Okay, I'll work on it. I gotta. I think I need to put a little bit more material, a little bit more water on my slide because it's totally dried out. I think it's also part of it's like kind of mobilized off the slide, the water part. So you can see there's a little bit of a current now, which happens. It's hard for me to follow everything here. So just everybody stay calm.
Good news, everyone.
You don't think it's up to date? You have a book on dinosaurs that somebody gave you from 1976? It's probably not up to date. They're too small to hug? Well, I guess that's true. Thank you guys for all those follows. It's really
Good
amazing.
news, everyone.
I'm actually getting kind of close to 1900 follows, so keep them coming, I guess. Where did the sample come from? I can answer that question. Give me 1 second, Mvula. 1 second. So in my yard, there's these giant oak trees. On this side of my house, there's an old bur oak tree. And this is a stick that fell off of that tree during the storm last night. And if you look really closely, you can see that it's covered with a bunch of, well, there's some fungus on there, but there's also that green, that bright green color. That's lichen. And on this end, there's very little of it, and that's because I scraped most of it into this bowl using this knife about 5 minutes before I started the stream. And then it's already a little wet because it's been raining today and last night. So it was sort of a damp piece of wood. And then all I did was scrape some of it into a bowl. I transferred it using this transfer pipette onto a slide. I didn't put any cover slip on it. And so you're just looking at whatever was in there. And like here's a nematode. There's some colpotta. In the background there's another nematode. Let's see what else we can find. Probably when I put you can see there's nematodes everywhere in here. Probably when I put the new water in, it probably jostled everything around, so it might be hard to find the water bears that we've previously seen, but just be patient with me and I'll get us some. That little guy's a Rotifer, right there, girl. Let's see. Another Rotifer. There's an old dried up Rotifer. There's a nematode. We're getting all the other things that live in the sample. We haven't seen any water bears yet. There's a really big nematode right there. I also saw a chironomid larva crawling around in here earlier. And I haven't changed the slide, so it's still in here somewhere. If we come across it, it's really big. It'll look like a worm. Let's see. When we started, I was actually way on the other side of the slide. Let's see if I can get us back there without making you too dizzy.
Good news, everyone.
All nematodes all the time. There's a bunch of them in here. There's one wiggling around. Tiny ciliates. More ciliates. Some more ciliates. Some of the water bears were kind of out in the open. Some of them were crawling around on stuff, so they could have repositioned a little bit. There was one up in this corner, though, when we started. If a water bear were going to hug you... Oh, there's one. It's actually just off of my field of view. And I don't think I can force my slide up there. Oh, maybe a little bit. There we go. There's a little water bear. I'll make my camera focus on it. Give us a second. There we go. Now we're nice and zoomed in. Let's see. I'll put a little more contrast on him. And you can see around the little newt on the mouth, it has tiny little structures sticking off of it. Those are pretty cool. Okay, I'm super behind on chat. I know there's a lot of people, and I was trying to do the find us things. So give me a second. Tropical Geek's got it under control. There's a bunch of people who do microscope streamers. You should follow all of them. They're all really great. Oh, thank you for the cheer. That's very kind. I should point out that I don't take any money from my streams. If people cheer or subscribe, I use the money to buy supplies and also to provide money for my students, both my graduate and undergraduate students. I'm a professor. I have a salary. I don't need money from Twitch. So I use the money to buy them research supplies. And all of it, 100% of it is donated. So feel like if you're cheering or if you're subscribing, you want those really cool diatom emotes that I have. So I've got a ton of really great emotes that I made myself from SEM images. Here's a bunch of them. All of that, basically, if there's money that comes in, it goes to my students. Like I said, I don't keep any of it. I pay taxes on it like I have to, and then and that's it. And then I just take it and I use it to buy supplies for their research, or I use it to pay for their salaries in the summer or on projects. So I also have if you're interested in water bear or diatom merchandise, I have a Redbubble site where I sell stuff. And the money from the Redbubble also goes to my student research, although Redbubble takes a huge cut, so I don't make a ton of money there or on Twitch, to be honest. But I do like to use that money for student research. So, and that little water bear is going the wrong way constantly. It's always trying to get off of the field of view. So you can see, if you look very carefully here, let me pull out the arrow. There's its back legs, and then its back legs are kind of tied together. It's got two of them that are kind of linked, kind of like a shrimp. And they've got little tiny claws at the end of each one of them. You can see them sometimes when they flex their legs a little bit. And then it's, of course, crawling now off of my screen. But the other legs are primarily used for moving and grasping stuff. And you can see them. And then, so it sort of walks with the middle 6 legs. And then the back 2 legs are mostly used for grasping. So, do they hibernate? They have something called a tun state, which is not quite hibernation, because hibernation usually suggests that an organism will slow down its heart rate. But that's not exactly what they do. They basically just completely desiccate. So we usually refer to that as their cryptobiotic state rather than hibernating. But it's more like technical difference, right? But the water bears have been around for a really long time. They've actually managed to live through all of the, coming from Danny's stream, I'm sure you'll appreciate this, the major extinction events, including the ones that the dinosaurs perished in. Water bears lived through that as well. So they've been around for a really long time. Not this particular one, but as a group. And some of the dinosaurs you could probably have hugged, let's see. Yeah, all of it's from one branch. And actually I didn't scrape off a lot of it. So there's more. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit because this guy is active, and it's hard for me to keep up with him and talk and see stuff at the same time. I think he's finally starting to move in the direction that my microscope allows, though, so that's nice. Because I was kind of right up against the edge of the slide, and my microscope had no interest in moving that direction any further. How many of these do you drink a year? I don't know. Roger, do you drink tree branches or moss tea? Or stuff made out of lichen? Some samples you can find water bears in ponds, and I know that I've had some other, there's some other people who've dropped in who said, oh, I look at them in aquatic settings, but I've never found them in aquatic settings. I know they exist there. I've had more luck with finding stuff in my yard. It's a lot easier. So this is why you don't climb trees anymore. Okay. You're not used to looking at things this small. Well, all we do is look at things that are small here on my stream. It's actually not the smallest that we get. During the day, in the afternoon, I'm in my SEM lab, and I stream a lot from there as well. So if you want to see small, this is not even close. We are still at a relatively low magnification right now.
Good news, everyone.
So, but I do live SEM streams as well. And my students usually help me out with those as well. I think tomorrow I might do some more. I don't know. I did a stream today. I feel like I don't need to stream all of my SEM work, but you can see that it's starting to grab, the water droplet's starting to dry out, and it's starting to grab the glass slide and claw its way along there. So, are you currently working on any research? If so, what are you studying within the diatom category? I'm actually working on like a ton of projects. I currently have research in the Miocene diatomites of Idaho Lake, in so 10 million year old stuff. On Wednesday, I'm going to stream from the scanning electron microscope, looking at some diatoms from Ashfall State Park in Nebraska, which is a site of a bunch of rhinoceros fossils were found. And at the site, they were at some sort of a watering hole. It happened around a giant volcanic event, which is where the ashfall came. And there's a bunch of diatoms that they found in the diatomites there in the deposits along with the rhinoceroses. And I'm working with Mark Edlund, who's another diatomist, and we're working on describing some species from there. And then I've got species that we're working on describing from Idaho, like modern samples, from Africa, from Botswana, and Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Malawi, a bunch from there with my colleague Itzi. And then I've got paleo studies. I mostly do paleo-ecology, and I've got studies from June Lake, Gull Lake in the Sierra Nevadas, and I've got some research on with some archaeologists looking at
Good news, everyone.
this sort of stuff between your teeth in some human skeletal remains from 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, where diatoms are found in the dental calculus. And I'm working right now, like this week, on some of that stuff. I just got tons of projects. I like to collaborate with a lot of different people, and so I can't even keep up with that answer, really. There's a lot. So, and I didn't talk about everything. I have projects with Broxton Bird and Clear Lake, Iowa. I've got work in the Himalayas. I'm a very busy guy. So, and my lab's also very active. So, they like to crawl on lichen. Yes, Flap, that is true. His little arms have claws on the ends of them. If you want to see them in really high definition, I have some pictures of their little claws from the scanning electron microscope on my Instagram page. So you could go check that out if you really like scanning electron microscope work. And there's a little ciliate that came in to bug him. Let's see. Yeah, their mouth is cute. Here we call that their newt, the little snout thing that sticks off the front of their face, like the, little art character, the penguin that goes newt. And it's trying to move itself back into the part of the screen I can't get into focus again. It's going the wrong way. So, okay. He's trying so hard and he's going, that's pretty normal. Yeah, they do a lot of crawling. Who knows where they think they're going? Most of them don't have eyes. So they're just kind of feeling around in the dark looking for food, I think. There's no way I'm going to catch up with all of this, I don't think. Thank you for those cheers, by the way, Great Blue. That was very cool. My students will appreciate that. And you like the mustachioed diatoms? We have a mustachioed command. I can put a little mustachio on our water bear here. There you go. This doesn't work super well because he's at an odd angle, but yeah, this is a water bear with a mustache now. Or we could put it down here on this. Oh, wait, hang on. I need to, there we go. I'll put it on this water bear down here if you'd like. Now he's got a mustache. There you go. I got a water bear with a mustache. Pretty cool. I would give him a whole beard, but I feel like maybe they can't grow a whole beard. Oh, thank you for the clip. Very cool. Tardigrades on the, yeah, they're the struggle bus driver, to be honest. That's just the way they are. Support the stream, support grad students. Yes. I have currently 2 master's students, 2 PhD students, and I have 2 new master's students starting with me in the fall. So I got a lot of grad students, and then I've got 4 undergrads working with me this summer as well. So there's a lot. Yeah, it's a little bit like torpor Claire. So Mvula, some of them have eyes. They're pretty sort of simple eyes, though. They're probably just light sensors for the most part. Reno, you heard they can survive in the vacuum of space? That's true. Not like this, not crawling around. People often make the mistake of thinking that when they hear that water bears are capable of withstanding all of these things, they do that in their cryptobiotic state, which is basically like they curl up into a little ball and dehydrate. And then they can handle all kinds of really extreme environmental conditions, including the vacuum of space, for at least 10 minutes. They've been exposed to high levels of radiation. They've been baked in an oven at 300 degrees for like an hour or something, and we're still able to reproduce out of that. So there's a lot. Matt, you're asking how do they reproduce? That's a doozy of a story, but they the female ones, when they reproduce, will they molt, and then they lay their eggs in the molt, and then oftentimes the male water bears will come along and fertilize the eggs in the molt. So I'll try to keep it PC, but basically that's what happens. He visits the molt with the eggs in it and fertilizes the molt. That's a pretty platonic relationship, but they don't always work that way. Some of them actually do kind of like a live birth sort of thing, but there's a lot of different types of water bears. So this little guy isn't hundreds of millions of years old. They're probably, most of the ones in the sample here are probably like less than a year old. They only live for, like a year or so, typically. They don't live forever. They have lifespans. But it probably gets extended because they can be dried out and will keep for, in some cases, years. And then, so their active living time is probably like a year. Flap. Diatoms aren't the diatoms in toothpaste. Yes, they are. They're silt-sized particles. They're used in toothpaste in some cases. What are the claws made of? Chitin or something similar? Keratin? I think it's probably keratin. I'm not positive. I don't do the chemical or actually I'm more of a paleoecologist. So the like physiology stuff is a little generally outside my realm of being able to answer questions easily. Yeah. Tropical, I'd love to add text to speech, but the problem is I can't listen to it and talk at the same time. I've not figured out how to like, put up with a robot talking to me while I'm trying to talk, and it just talks over top of me. So for me, that's very frustrating, and I feel like I end up starting and stopping quite a bit. So I did away with it. I had it for a little while. I couldn't handle it. So can you look at some tap water and find out what we drink? Most tap water is pretty clean. You're not going to find large organisms like this in tap water. And also most of the tap water gets chlorinated. So a lot of the things that we might think of in the water probably are not easy to find. Probably pretty rare. Water must be like syrup for him. Yes, that's true. It's very viscous when you're that small. So I think I answered that question already about their average lifespan. If you drank rainwater falling through the trees, you get some water bears. Yes, you would. Probably you would, actually. And yeah, you can see the meniscus surrounding any of the particles because the water is slowly starting to dry out on the glass slide. So that's just a consequence of it's a little bit warmer and also low humidity in the room, I guess. So they have a hard time moving around until the sample starts to dry up a little bit, and then they can actually get some traction. So can you put some food in front of his face? I don't think I can. I mean, it can eat little bits of particles around it, and algae and moss particles. So I think there's food around it if it really wants it, but it does seem like it needs some help. That's one of the things that I think makes the water bears look kind of cute, is that they look kind of helpless. Hey, Pack, how are you doing? You got your stream ready for us? I got rated by Paleontologizing, so I've got a big crowd of people in here. I also do birding streams, photography streams. We were talking about that with Esarella right when this huge raid came in. I've been doing some streams where I put a microphone out in my yard and then I stream through my camera and I get some really close-up images of birds and take pictures of them as well. So slow mode. Yeah, when my friends, sometimes my friends raid me with a lot of people, and I'm used to like maybe 50 people in here, but 150 is a little bit more challenging for me to keep up with. So especially because I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the microscope and the chat. So I either can handle one or the other. It's kind of hard to do both. So, oh, you just bought a Newt sticker? Oh, thank you for that. That's really cool. The stickers are really great. I think high quality as well. Actually, all the projects that I've people talk to me after they buy something from Redbubble, they tell me that that they're really high quality. So, let's see. I feel like I'm almost catching up. They are as resilient, if not more resilient, than cockroaches. Yeah, in their ton state, they're very resilient, probably more resilient than any insect. And so are the Deloid rotifers, which are in these samples, or another organism, and the nematodes. All of them actually have sort of a dried up state where they can handle all kinds of crazy, difficult conditions. High pH, low pH, super high temperature, super low temperatures. You name it, basically they can handle it, and usually that's associated with desiccation. So if you're capable of living through desiccation, you can usually handle a really large number of sort of environmental factors, and usually they're linked together with being able to repair your DNA. So that's the primary sort of link between all of those things, like the Deloid rotifers and the tardigrades and the nematodes. It's basically that they can be dehydrated and come back to life. So yeah, well, we got it into space, so I think that's we take a lot of things up to space when it feels like they, or seems like they can handle being dried out. So we've taken rotifers to space and water bears to space, and some really cool bacteria to space. Oh no! Another raid! We're having fun with raids tonight. It's that math teacher. Hello, that math teacher.
Everyone.
How are you doing? I should give a shout out to that math teacher. Oops, I need to be able to be typing in things here. Oh wait, maybe here's a better choice. That math teacher. You know, that one. How do I know if it's a male or female? I don't. I'm no good at sexting which water bear is which. Don't rely on me for that. If you're curious, we might be able to find some marking on them that would help, but we would need a water bear expert to answer that question. The only way I would be able to tell is if it actually started laying eggs in front of us, which I feel like we'd all have a good handle on that.
Good news, everyone.
So I don't think they wear skirts, but we could try. Are there microfossils? I don't know what you're asking about. There are microfossils of tardigrades, yes. We know that they existed in the past, and I study microfossils, so generally, yes. Chlorinated and fluorinated, yeah, exactly. Is it dangerous to drink water containing these creatures? It's dangerous for the water bear, I feel. It would be fine for you. You probably wouldn't notice. So, Pacific plankton. I'm finally caught up with the fact that you're here. Let's see. You actually collect stickers and thought it was cool and unique. Oh, thank you. That water bear sticker that's on there is my own artwork that I drew. And I do all the diatom artwork that's on that webpage is mine, as well as the pictures and the drawings. So I rendered those digitally using CorelDRAW. So very cool. We have the tech, we can rehydrate them. Yeah, I bring them back to life all the time. This one was actually already hydrated when we started because it was like a wet stick. Where's it taking that clump? I don't know. It just does whatever it wants. So, you know, I try not to worry about too much where it's going with stuff. One thing I like about streaming water bears is when the sample dries out, the water bears just go back to sleep. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel like I've killed anything by sampling it. And they got a whole pile of them over there in the other side of the room that I will eventually dump back into either my yard or onto some sticks or something. So I know they'll be okay, that I'm not actually hurting anything. So I like that better than when I have to destroy something. But sometimes you do for science. I'm almost caught up. I am. I promise. Hello, that math teacher. We are looking at water bears. How was your stream? Hopefully it went well. Thank you for bringing your people here to visit with me. In short order, we're probably going to end up headed over to see Pacific Plankton because her stream is going to be starting soon. And Mama Bonbon and I are her moderators, so we can't be running around with no moderators. Who knows what could happen? So, can you name it? Of course you can. I have a few of them that are named on slides over there, and then I just labeled a slide with the name. I mean, if you want to. Desmer, that's a good name. We can go with Desmer. I'll actually write it down. I don't know that I can guarantee we'll come back to this particular water bear, because I found 3 or 4 of them on the slide before, you know, the raid started, and there was a wall of people in here. So, the human digestive system is pure death incarnate to water bears. It probably is. It's probably not the sort of environment that water bears will do well. Maybe if they were in their ton state, they could pass through. But yeah, it's mostly acid. Oh, I'm at the bottom. Okay, good. I bet it would love a stick. Yeah, actually, it started on a stick. This stick, actually, right here. So before the raid started, I was sort of showing off my lichen stick. Here at the bottom, I've scraped most of the lichen off, but you can see some of that green on there. That's the lichen, and that's a fungus, that like brownish stuff on there. That's a fungus that was growing on the stick, and there's a lot of it. But you can see that there's actually a ton of lichen on the stick. I hope you can see that. So I just scraped off a little bit, and I have all these water bears right here, you know, just like a ton of them. But I'll probably put the stick back out in the yard when I'm done. And then later on, if I want more water bears, I can collect a different stick. It'll be fine. So, okay. What does merde mean? I think she was speaking in French. I'm not sure. Am I sure it's not the same one? I don't know. Oh, Desmer's out of the frame. Sorry. I'll try to catch up with Desmer here. There you go. They can't get too far. Let's see. I might be able to digitally put them back into the frame, actually. Let's do a little bit of dark field again. So watch your eyes. It's going to get dark, and then it's going to get really bright for a second.
Good news, everyone.
So just, you know, I'll tell you when it'll happen. Just close your eyes for a second. And now you can open them. It's fine. We'll be good. I'm going to pop this off and then pull this out and open this up. And we're magically in dark field now. And one of the things that's cool about dark field is it uses sort of oblique lighting. This water bear just went around the corner on us into... We got another raid. Hey, we're having a lot of cool raids tonight. Thanks for bringing all your people in. We're looking at water bears, and Desmer here, which is the water bear that we've been exploring the sample with recently, is crawling around up here at the top. Give me a second. I'm going to fix the light for you. There you go. And oh, there it is. There he is. There you go. It's a little bright. Let me see if I can... I'm going to make some camera adjustments here. There you go. Now it doesn't look so harsh. And you can see his little legs crawling around. You can see that they're transparent. The dark field's actually kind of a neat way of looking at aquatic organisms like this. I feel like you get like a strong contrast, right? So I like to sort of switch back and forth between the two views. Here we go. So say hello to Desmer, the water bear. And you'd know that Newt anywhere. I just remember the face. Well, they have different sizes and everything. We saw one earlier, was just a little tiny guy, a different species. And then another one that was actually a little bit larger than this one, I think. So how did it get off the stick? I used this knife. It's just a little paring knife, and it's actually not very sharp. And I just scraped some of the lichen into the bowl. So I'm hoping I didn't accidentally stab anything in the process, but you never know. Because as I mentioned, it was sort of a soggy stick when we started. I felt like most of it scraped off pretty easily. Oh, I'm getting kind of active. Let's see. There we go. Very cool. Yeah, it's tunneling through the lichen. It's actually really it's moving quite fast now that the water's sort of dried up on this slide a little bit. And Evalazi, thank you for the raid, and I give you a shout out. Oh, it looks like Tropical Geek did it already. Thank you for that, Tropical Geek. I got sometimes I have too many moderators in the channel, and sometimes I have just enough. and sometimes it's just me. But thank you, Tropical Geek. Second time today, you've come in clutch with some guest moderation. It makes it look like space, yeah. Especially if you look at the little sparkly stars in the background, those are actually bacteria. Evolution has come to an end. If you say so, 3D Prima, I think probably it's still going on. The diatoms would argue that it is. Adorable blob of Newt, yes. Yeah, now that he's got a little bit more of a dense area to crawl around in, I feel like Desmer's got some traction, and you can see how they kind of hold on with their back claws and explore with the front six, you know, the mid-thorax part of their body or whatever, does most of the exploration. Pragmatic says, thanks and good night. Yeah, no problem, Pragmatic. Does it ever get tired? Well, I think maybe it just eats, and that helps it manage the tiredness. I don't know if they ever sleep, though. Yeah, their butt's a little bit like a shrimp. That's a good observation, Reno. They've got their two legs are kind of bound together in the back, and they do kind of function in the way that a shrimp's legs do, or actually tail does. But of course, they can't swim, or at least this one can't. And that's how the shrimp that's what they usually use their tails for. So it's really doing a number crawling around through the sample. It looks like it does have an eye spot. Is that little dark spot right there on the side of its head? I think that's actually a little eye spot. So I think this one does have eyes. They don't always have eyes. You see the little eye spot there? It's kind of like purplish red. You can kind of see, let's see if I can get my arrow over there before it disappears, but it's kind of in this area right here. Comes in and out of focus because it's really sort of moving around on the lichen there. So your timing's impeccable. Well, you came in with the raid, so I can't beat that sort of timing, I guess.
Good news, everyone.
Thank you for that follow. I can see there's a little nematode down there. Our water bear.
Good news, everyone.
It's right here, though. There you go. This is Desmer the water bear. My cat does this when I pet her. She wiggles like her belly exposed. We call it shrimping. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did finally catch up with the chat. Now I got the battery light flashing, so I'm pretty soon everybody's going to tell me about the battery light flashing. I forgot to go in there and change it. I need to set it so it only goes when it's like 5%, because I think it starts at 30%. Oh, it's really like clambering through the lichen here. Are they colorless? Yes. Although this one does have like a reddish cast to it. It's translucent, but on the back of it, up around the back plates, oh, you can see its eye really for a second there. The little plates are kind of have a reddish cast, and I think this species has sort of a red color to it, like a reddish brown color. You can't see it super well right here, but you could see it when we were looking at in differential interference contrast, the original lighting that we were looking at. It was a little more obvious. Here in dark field, the light's coming at a oblique angle, and so they look a lot more transparent because the background is black. But you can kind of see like a pinkish hue in this area right here. There's like little bits of pinkish color. That's real. That's a real color that's in there. It's kind of like a red color. So, hey, Freckled Science, hello. You found green ones with huge long antennas. Oh, I've seen those ones in pictures. I've never actually seen one live before. I don't know where Desmer went. Oh, I think he's right here. Yeah, there's got a good sense of those eye spots right there for a second. You can see they're on both sides of the head. So, how was your stream, Freckled? How you doing, Amanda? I'm going a little bit longer than I was expecting. I started a little bit late, and then I really just wanted to do a little water bear microscope time, and then I kept getting raided. So normally by this point I would go raid Pacific Plankton and catch up with her stream. So we might do that soon. Desmer is just trying to home so they can put up shrimp butt and have tiny taco. That sounds delicious. When do we go to Plaid? The bottle of orange fluid is pretty low. You're right. It's almost empty.
Good news, everyone.
If we had tiny tacos, would it eat with 6 of its arms and then hold the ground with 2 of its legs, or would it just eat with 2 of its arms? It was good. Oh, you rated Danny. Okay, I see. You rated Danny, then Danny rated me, and then I'm gonna raid Pacific Plankton in a bit. So we'll just pass everybody around. That's great. It's he was wearing a tux. Did you see that? Did you see he was dressed up tonight? It's his stream anniversary, so it's pretty special. I was in there earlier in his stream for a little bit, congratulating him, and we questioned whether he had legs. So, previously legged Danny had legs for sure. We saw those, but we don't know if the actual streaming Danny had legs because we hadn't seen them. So, what is this? It's a water bear. Its name is Desmer. It's just it's trying to live its best life, and I got it on the screen here. So on the fancy microscope camera setup I have right there, and I borrowed it from a stick. I'm gonna put it back eventually. So you don't see Pacific Plankton online? Oh, is she not online yet? Oh no, she's online. She's here. She's probably just got her announcement going, so. He had on his field khakis? Like underneath his tux? We didn't see his legs. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, see what happens, Desmer? You get like a bunch of your legs aren't touching anything anymore, and now you're just stuck here where I don't have to focus very much. So tonight was your introduction to Science Twitch, and you're loving it and toying with the idea of making a channel for your field. What is your field? Flap flap. Do you study octopus? Do you study octopodes? Because that would be pretty cool. I would watch that. I do a little bit of SEM. I do a little bit of light microscope, and then I do a little bit of camera stuff. And that's primarily what I stream. I squeeze in a little bit of gaming with my daughter sometimes, or with my educational VTuber team on the weekends. I don't know whether you unfollowed her. Did you unfollow me? You're here. Did I miss what Flap Flaps does? How does he eat? He's got a little newt on the front end of his body. That's the back end. This is the front end. And he just sucks things in through it, basically. It's got little raspy things on the inside of it. If you go to my Instagram account, you can see that. So you're an audiologist. So you study the balance and hearing. Oh, that's cool. Sounds like a really interesting field. Did I see the octopus movie? Or you mean me? I didn't yet. I suppose my wife and I will probably watch it eventually.
Good news, everyone.
So it's on the to-do list, but she's got a bunch of stuff now that the semester's over. She just wants to watch all the time. So, and neither of us have a lot of time to watch TV. So we get one show in a night, sometimes less than that. So check the link I put in. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Get him connected up with the Knowledge Fellowship. That's a really good idea. I think it's fun learning about, well, balance is actually a really interesting topic. You know, people, you know, think about it as a sense, but it's a really interesting sense. So she was just starting, yeah, probably just hadn't got the notification yet. So you want to help him? Yeah. Well, we all want to help him, but he's used to it. I think he's got his life. He knows what's up. He'll sort it out. Tropical Geek says I have horrible balance and slightly shifted hearing range. You sound like all your senses are having a little bit of a struggle there, Tropical. There you can see the eyes, just really briefly, before he popped up to the next level, to the top of the lichen. Okay. If you had a squirrel tail, that would help. I'm sure you could find a water bear teddy on Etsy or something. I'm sure you could. I have one at work in my office. My daughter bought for me, but it was actually my wife, I think. So I have a plushie, a blue one. I don't know everybody keeps asking me about the water bear on Star Trek. I haven't seen Star Trek Discovery, so like I said, not a lot of TV time, so I get that question a lot though. Oh, it's in here somewhere. It's behind this pile of lichen. I think maybe it's trying to send me a message. It's tired of being on the camera. Because now it's behind there for a while now. There are some other water bears in here. I know we've gotten attached to this one, but it seems like maybe it's crawled into the other side permanently. I don't have access to it anymore. So, Desmer, yeah. You feel bad for the Star Trek water bear? Oh, it's Next Generation? I'll have to go looking for that episode, maybe. It could be avoiding the nematodes. Yes, some space researchers actually working with water bears and all kinds of things. There's a lichen that they've taken into space as well, the sunburst lichen, among other things. All right, I think we're gonna leave this water bear alone for now. And you can see like the whole slide's starting to dry up again. So we're mostly in a realm of things dried up in the slide. That's probably a good time for us to go find Pacific Plankton and take the raiders there before somebody else tries to raid me. It's getting to the closing time of night, and then it's usually like everybody's cutting out at the same time, getting ready for bed. But Pacific Plankton's just getting started, and she's going to be on for the next 2 hours or so. And she's got a lot of live stuff on her channel, and I want to go help. So I think we're going to do that. I will label Desmer's slide as Desmer, and if you want to see Desmer again, maybe we'll pull him out. I've got another water bear over there, Gubu, that we named from like, I don't know, September. And I think it's still there. Maybe we'll do a reunion tour next time. And next time I do a night stream, I don't know when that'll be. Could be tomorrow, could be sometime this week. Who knows? But until then, I will be back on the SEM on Wednesday and maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Now that school's out, I can just do whatever I want. So I want to say thank you for paleontologizing, for Evil Ozzy, and for that math teacher for raids. And did we get raided by somebody else? there was just a ton of follows. I went from, 1830 to 1880, so I got like 40 some follows, which is amazing. Thank everybody for coming along. And 3 raids, yeah. Thank you, Tropical Geek. And we'll go raid Pacific Plankton and bring my people to her channel. She's one of my favorite streamers on Twitch, and we're good friends. And sometimes she sends me material to put on the SEM or my light microscope, and I will send slides that I've processed back to her as well. So we got this mustache on the water bear from earlier. We had a little tardy bee action right there. We got a little water bear that'll give you a kiss. We like to pull her out sometimes. That was drawn by the incredible artist Little Chook, and animated as well, based on another water bear that we had on our stream here, Tardy Bee. And it's been, you can't unsee that, so sorry for that. But we're going to take everybody over to see Pacific Plankton's raid. And if you like microscope streaming, if you like what you've been watching, besides my channel, there's all these people in my squad of microscope streamers. They're not my squad, but Pacific Plankton's on here at the top of the list. Del Maximum also streams from a microscope. OpenSet plays keyboards while he streams from a microscope. Spider ADs, he has a stereo microscope. He looks at spiders and identifies them right on screen. Freckled Science, you know her. She was just here. Fizeria also has been on. She does musical stuff, but I saw her last night. She was doing some microscope streaming. Okay, so there's the whole list. We'll check them out. I'll see you next time.